Page 17, Greensleeves. It has other names too, but we'll go with Greensleeves. Very old melody. On page 16, they're introducing you to a new time signature, 6/8 time. If you understand how time signatures work, it doesn't matter what the time signature is, you can always figure it out. We've been in 4/4 and 3/4 and that kind of thing. Well, the top note tells you how many beats in a measure or how far you have to count. So we've counted to 4 or 3 or whatever. In cut time, it's 2/2 time. You only count to 2. Well, the bottom note then is what you're counting, because if you're going to count something, it's nice to know what you're counting. And in 4/4 or 3/4, whatever, it's quarter notes. In 2/2 time, cut time, it's half notes. Well, in 6/8 time, the bottom note's an 8, and that stands for eighth notes. So we're counting eighth note. An eighth note gets a beat, and there's 6 of them in a measure, so we get to count to 6. Oh, goody. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6/8 time is versatile because it can be felt in multiple ways. See, there's natural accents in music. You just feel them. They happen naturally. I mean, when you're dancing in music, you're getting into the natural accents. And the strongest natural accent in a piece of music is the first beat of a measure. That's just the way it is. It's just no matter what the time signature is. If it's 4/4, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, or 3/4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. You know, in 2/2 time it's 1, 2, 1, 2. It's the first beat of a measure. In 6/8 time it's the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. It's the first beat of a measure. Well, there's also other natural accents besides the first beat. They're just not as strong as the first beat. In 4/4 time, it's the third beat. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can feel this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, in 6/8 time, it depends. You can feel it in 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or you can feel it in 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Most common is to feel it in 2. A lot of marching bands and all, are written in 6/8 time. And you think, well, they're playing triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, they're not playing triplets. It's in 6/8 time. So it kind of depends on the piece. You have to take it in a case-by-case basis. Is it felt in 2 or is it felt in 3? Most of the time it'll be felt in 2. Well, we'll look at it and see. Greensleeves, well, that's a pickup beat. You remember, an eighth note gets a count. So we're coming in on beat 6. That means there's got to be a measure somewhere with only 5 counts in it. If you look at the last measure, a dotted quarter note is the same as 3/8 notes, so that's 3 counts. And then a quarter note is the same as 2/8 notes, that's 5 counts total. So it works out. So we're coming in on beat 6. Here, sort of in this position. There's no sharps or flats in it. So it's C major or A minor. Well, if you look at the end, it's here. It's hitting on an A minor chord. I'm guessing it's probably an A minor. It could be a modal, some other mode. I'm not real expert on the other modes, but your teacher can help you with that stuff. I'm just going with, there's no sharps or flats in the key signature. So we're here. So it's 6, 6, 1, 2. Remember, a quarter note gets 2 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. F sharp there. 1, to bring the second finger. And when you do the thumb, then you collapse, because we just changed hand positions. And they want 5th finger on the C. So you can do 3rd finger. You don't have to do that. You can use 4th finger if you want. Just bring the 3rd finger down. You got to be able to stretch down anyway. You should be able to, with any finger, you should be able to go at least an extra note down. So 5 or 4, either one, that's up to you, but put 3rd finger on the C, on the A. Also, I'll give you options. 5 here is fine, you use 3. If you use 4, you can do a 2, 3. You really need the 3rd finger on that second A. So you can use 2nd finger on the first one. I'm complicating it, but that's what I do. You know, it's, and then during the rest, you come back up to where you were to do it again. As if 1 wasn't enough. Now they're saying, this second line, 3rd measure, they're saying 5th finger here. Crunch up. I don't care for that. It's doable. You can do with it. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't care. See, there's different fingering styles. Depends on who your teachers are. I've had the advantage of having multiple teachers. All for 4 or 5 different, I don't remember, concert pianists. All are extremely good. They all had their own thing. I tend to not be up in this area if I don't have to be. So on this second line, third measure, I would just, fourth finger on the C is fine. I just stay in there. But then put thumb on the A. And cross over third finger for the G sharp. Here, I just changed positions again. And then fourth finger for that. Now the fingerings are optional. I mean, the fingering in the book is optional. The teacher will tell you what they want you to do. Otherwise, it's really up to you to come up with a fingering that is comfortable for you. There are certain guidelines for fingering because otherwise you can get into some real bad habits and you don't want to do that. Like using the same finger on multiple notes when you don't have to. I wouldn't recommend that if possible. So here, one of the guidelines I use is I simply don't put my hand up in this area anymore and I have to. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, it's cumbersome. It's a bit awkward in cases. So on that second line, second measure is fine. You're here. And the third measure, I just stay here. Here is fine. And then at the end of the line, during the rest, you come up. 2, 4. Here. 1, 2, 3. And then I want you to cross over to third finger. If you just relax the thumb, you can move, while you're holding the note down, you can move here if you'll just relax the thumb. And you just come over. If you got to turn the hand a little bit there, it's fine. Don't do it a lot. Don't be, Again, practicing the scales will help you because you got to do this crossing over the thumb and the scales. You're not crossing here that much. You're only going one hand. Same difference. You're just not going as far. So third finger. And now they're telling you 2, 3. That's what I suggested to you up on the first line. And then you, during the rest, you come back up and do it again as if one wasn't enough. They want you to fourth finger again. No, I recommend the same fingering I said on the second line. 4, 3, 1. Cross over. That's what I recommend there. Left hand supporting. You keep the left hand in the background. You have an E, an A, and a C. So I'm going to spell out the chords. I'll just start with the bottom note and figure it, and then the next note and the next note, whatever. I'll work out the chord that way. And then just lift up and let all the notes go down, one white key. And again. And this one you have a choice for the last measure. You got a black key on top. If you don't want to be up here, then from here you got to go to here. You stretch out and your second finger there. It's up to you. And don't be confused with these numbers under the bottom staff. Those are counting. They're just giving you the count. A lot of methods books will put that count in the middle. It's not part of the music. Normally you don't get a count. But to me, they get in the way. So it's here. The dotted half note is the same as 3/4 notes, which is the same as 6/8 notes. It's a whole measure. Second line, then lift up and come up here. Here. Third line. It's an F natural in that next measure. And then lift up during the rest and come up again. That's fine. There's other fingerings we can use, but that's fine. Now if you'd like to finger the bottom, the last 2 measures, the same as the second line, last 2 measures, that's great, because you can connect it. 3, 2, 1. I can play all of those connected. At the bottom, you have the problem in that you're coming off in here, force a second finger on that, and that messes that up. But if you played it with the thumb, you could still do it. Thumb here and then cross over. something to think about, because we like to try and connect the notes as best we can. So if you want to do that, try that out too. Put the hands together. So you're going to connect. Forget these slur lines in the top staff. Just forget them. Just play everything connected. In the left hand, you can't connect that. You got to lift up to move. In the right hand, connect them. Lift up. There's no rest in the left hand. You lift up. You're going to lift up to move, but it's not. Then here. And those notes in the left hand, this last measure, second line, those notes are tied. And the third line, you're up here. Here, the end of the third line, you got to come up one in the left hand. The right hand's going way up. Now, you can, if it'll help, in the left hand rather than moving, just lift the thumb up. Leave the hand where it is until you play the note. And then you can move the hand up. So, because you got to focus on the right hand, it's got to go to here. So if you can just get that up, you're okay. So you're here. And then you can come up here. So forth. I'm going kind of fast to shorten the video. You take it as slow as you need to take it and go back over those spots where you're hitting wrong notes or you're hesitating or whatever, because the beat needs to be steady. It's not a fast piece, but the beat must be steady. Then we can add the articulation. Well, it's all pretty smooth and legato. I don't agree with their slurs at all. They're doing this. They're slurring. Now, there was a time back in the 1700s before where the people who would do the music would not put a slur line over a bar line. The slur, they would only do it per measure. That doesn't mean how you played it. It's just how they would slur it together. And then in the 1800s, that switched, and they were slurring anything goes. I suggest you do this by the phrases. Listen to the musical sentences and do it according to that. And in my opinion, the sentences are separated by the eighth rest. So I would connect all of that up to the eighth rest. So it's here. That's one sentence to me. It's rather long, but it's one sentence. So I would connect all that together. And the left hand, just connect it all as best you can, except for a rest. You can't connect it, but do the best you can. So it's a... So forth, I would connect all of that. Then do the dynamics. It's a gentle piece. Soft, that's the melody. You decide what soft is, and you make the left hand background very soft. And that's tricky because you got three notes in the left hand. They outnumber one note in the right hand. It's easy to drown it out. They can drown it out. So make an effort on this left hand to play it very soft. All the time. All the way through. Now you get to the third line down, you come up a little bit to moderately soft. That's the melody. Keep the left hand very soft. Until the last two measures, diminuendos get softer, and all the way down to very soft in the melody. The left hand is super duper soft here. You can also slow down a little bit if you want to. so forth. Just experiment. Don't use the soft pedal, that's cheating. You got to learn to control it with the hands. That takes time. Be patient, but keep at it and it'll come. If you start using crutches right now, like the soft pedal, it'll help me out. You won't develop the control you really need to do this that way. So I'm encouraging you to do it the hard way and don't use crutches. Learn to just work on this. You can just be flexible with the wrist, and you'll see the slower you push a key down, the softer you get. You can get it on an acoustic piano. You can get it, you push it down so slow it won't even sound. The hammer won't even hit the string. That's too slow. Obviously, you want to hit the string, but you can get very soft. And I'm not coming straight down. I'm coming down at an angle, because if I come down at an angle, the downward speed is slower because it's at an angle. So it's here. So both hands. It takes practice, and you can experiment with that. So another thing you can do when you're practicing the scales is practice them really super soft and loud and all the dynamics in between. Speed-wise, they give you a metronome marking for eighth notes. That's about the speed of a march, actually. That's 1, 2, 3. That's a suggestion. It's up to you on how fast you go. Just be consistent throughout the piece, unless you want to slow down at the very end, but that's it. Something like that. If I played this 10 different times, I'd play it different every time, because I play by feel. You got to get into the music and start feeling the music. I like to play it with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. Not going to do any dynamics. So I'll give us 5 counts because we come in on beat 6. 1, 2, 3, ready, go. 1, 2. 2, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, rest. 2, 3. 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, rest. 2, 3. 2. 1, 2, 3, 1.